Good morning, everybody. I guess, well, actually, it's afternoon. Sorry about that. Just want to come on here. I was looking at some more YouTube things, some information about carnivore and keto and those things like that I'm interested in, and you all know that, and different ways of living for your health. So I was on there and I seen one about Sean Baker and Zach. It was a just a actually like a podcast. They didn't show that Charles Washington is the guy that they interviewed, and it's zeroing in on health. And you can go on Facebook and Charles Washington. This is his site, and Charles has been a carnivore for almost, well, it's over 11 years now, and he went into town. He was pre-diabetic. He was 221 pounds when he started and went to the doctor because his wife was very upset that he wasn't feeling good and didn't look good, and he gained all this weight. So he went there. They found he was pre-diabetic. So he weighed 221 pounds, and then he decided to go on a low-fat diet. So that got him down to about 160 to 170 pounds. But he said he felt like he was starving. He was skinny. He had love handles, but he said as far as his weight, he just felt so tired and he was so hungry all the time. And he said he felt like he was starving. In between meals, he would get irritable and all he could do was dream about what's the next food he's going to eat. And I've done that. I've got to the point where, man, what am I going to eat for lunch? What am I going to eat for dinner? What am I going to eat for breakfast? What are we going to have? And now it's a little easier because it's meats. And that's what I do. I'm going to make a roast here in a little bit. That's what we're having today. And so he was talking about that, and he said, he started looking up some stuff on his own, and he had read where some people who did the low carb diet tended to form they tended to form muscle, where when he was doing the low fat diet, you don't have good muscle. You lose muscle on a low fat diet. And it's because you're not feeding your muscle what it needs, basically. So anyway, he said he started the low carb, and his weight started going the other way. Because, see, he started gaining weight when he started working out on the low-fat diet, which that kind of made him not understand. Why would I gain weight on a low-fat diet when I lost weight before I started working out? Well, one, we know that what muscle he had probably was weighing more, because muscle weighs more than fat, so they say. When he's on low fat, he does not have much muscle. So that's how I would, think about that part about what he said. So anyway, he went on the low carb, and his weight started to finally go on the other way. He started losing again, almost immediately, he said. Then he found out when he worked out even less, he started losing more weight instead of gaining. And the reason is because he was then on a low carb and more of a high fat diet. He ate more meats, and he says it counteracted to what he expected, and he was losing weight, and he was eating all the meat he wanted and stuff, like a vegetable here and there that he wanted. It was, just because it's low carb, so that's why he was doing the veggies and stuff. So then he said he did some more research. And he did, through YouTube or Facebook, however you want to look for this stuff. And you can find a lot on YouTube. And I have found a lot of stuff on YouTube. So anyway, he said that when he started this, he found out he lost more weight by not working out. Interesting, huh? So when he did more research, he found out he didn't need plants in his diet. All he needed was meat and water. So that's what he started doing, just eating meat. And he started eating water because he found out the plants could have more havoc on your body because of the oxalates that you find in plant foods. And if you don't understand oxalates, I can honestly tell you, go to a site called Sally K. Norton. She has a blog, but you can also go on YouTube and find some of her videos, and she'll talk to you what it did to her. She was in the hospital from eating plant-based diet because she was a vegetarian counselor. This lady went through an awful lot in her body because her body started dumping oxalates, and she was in big trouble when that happened. So With Charles, he said once he started to meet some water, he felt so good that he started running, doing workout and running, and now he did, all the stuff he used to do. And he got down to a weight when he was in high school, and he said he felt the best he ever felt. And this man is 51 or 52 now. He said that I think he turned 52 this year actually, because this was in 2018 that he did this interview, and he was 50. He had just turned 50 January then, so he's 52 now. But he would run marathons. He don't even have to drink water. He doesn't get thirsty because he eats his meat in the morning. I guess he eats in the morning. He may even fast. I don't know. But he can go through the whole marathon, not even have to have water. And he is not dehydrated at the end of his marathon. So that is pretty interesting. But you can go on. It's a YouTube. You who are runners and like to do marathons, you can go to Human Performance Outliers, I think it's called. And it was with Sean and Zach, and it's episode 17, and he talks about what goes on with his marathon running. So anyway, he went on to say that he got hooked on the carnivore diet, and from then on, that's all he has done. He's been doing it for 11 years. He's very healthy. He doesn't have knee joints, and like he was having problems before. He had none of those kind of achings and pains. He don't have it now. And he didn't develop scurvy, as some people want to tell you can do. And his nutrition deficiency, he has none. He feels great. He doesn't do supplements. And most people who's on a meat and water diet, they don't do supplements because the meat gives them all the supplements or all the nutrition they need. And some people don't believe that. But believe what you want. I'm just telling you what this guy says worked for him. So you don't really need to do carbs to work out, and that's what he found out. He does so much better now that he is just meat and water and coffee. You can do coffee. And I went on just now, and I got on his, it's called the Zeroing In on Health by Charles Washington. I went on Facebook in the search engine and found it, and I just hooked up to it to join it. I want to hear some more and read some more stuff that people's been talking about, and it's really interesting to read some of what these people are going through and what they've been through and what happens to their body once they change and go to meat. Now, you got to remember your body can be a little different reacting maybe on this. To me, some people need to go keto first. Keto is a great thing, but stay away from the almond flour. I'm going to tell you, it's really bad on you. When you're doing keto, my thing to you is don't do the processed foods with keto, the bars, the drinks. They're high in processed stuff. And it's pesticides. Don't think it's not, because when most of those preservatives are a pesticide, it makes that last on the shelf a lot longer. Be careful of that. You don't know what havoc it's doing on your body. The other thing about keto is, a lot of people tell you sweet potatoes are good for you. Sweet potatoes are very high in oxalates. Matter of fact, white potatoes are too. However, I'm going to have a potato. It's going to be white now. I don't do the sweet potatoes. Are very, very high in oxalates. You can do romaine lettuce on your keto. Stay away from spinach. Stay away from spinach, Swiss chard. And you can go into these places and find what is the high oxalate foods. I think I downloaded something on my site somewhere that shows a lot of the low and high oxalated foods, and you can go and find that out. You can go on there. You just gotta watch. Some of them will have some of this high oxalates. It's really not. Your nuts, like nuts, they're very high in oxalates, so you have to be very careful with that. Berries, some of your berries are, especially like your strawberries, and I love strawberries, but I know I'm going to have to back off of them a little bit. And raspberries are high in oxalates. I think cherries is a low one, I believe. You could check that out. There's ways to, and Sally Norton has on her site stuff about the high and low oxalate foods that you can check out. I'm not 100% meat based right now, just meat and water. I'm not going to lie to you and say I am. I'd be lying. I do like some carbs, and I want to try very hard to get on just water and the meat diet and do my coffee and see how I feel that way. I feel good what I'm doing now, but I know I would feel probably better, I think. I don't know. Something to check out, and you can tell by your own body how you feel. It's just something you need to just try out for yourself. That's all you can do. But I just want to bring that video out there for those of you who are trying. You know, to me, it's like this. You're diabetic, okay, say you have gout, and I know a lot of people right now is fighting gout, and that's one of the reasons, because of the processed foods and the sugars, and sugar is so bad for us. I mean, it really, really is, and that's why we got to get so much away from the sugar, and really away from the sweeteners, because they're not really good for you, unless you do stevia or monk fruit, which I just found out the other day is the only two you really should use as a sweetener. And, you know, my question is, if you're arthritic and you have the arthritis and you have the aches and the pains and you know you're on medicine, the medicine does not cure your problem. It helps your problem. So you really want to cure that problem. It's just like diabetes. There are people right now getting off insulin because they're going to the carnivore diet. And they're getting off their insulin. They're getting off their diabetic pills. But you just don't quit it. You go to your doctor and you see how well you're doing. And then you know, okay, wow, I can quit this pill. And you do it. Gout has been one of the things I've heard so much of lately, especially from people in our churches even had it. It's caused from sugar. It's caused from the processed foods you're eating, and you know it, carpal tunnel. See, all of these illnesses that you're having is an inflammation related to, it's what it's related to, inflammation. What's causing your inflammation is the foods you're eating. And I know we hate to hear that. I hate to hear it because no one loves bread more than Linda Bragg does. Let me tell you, I used to eat bread all the time. I don't eat that bread. You know, the most bread I eat is Sundays when I go to Subway with my husband after church, and that's it. I don't eat through the week here. I don't eat no bread. I just don't. You know, I just stopped it. So, and you know, everybody says, well, how much do you have to eat of the meat, you know, to make yourself healthy? Some people eat 2 pounds of meat. Me, I'm lucky if I get 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a day in. That's all I need. Because when you eat a fatty meat, whether it's bacon, whether it's sausage, whether it's hamburger, which I do hamburger, I do bacon, I do sausage, I do sirloin steak, I do ribeye steak, I do roast. Any of that you like, chicken, salmon, any kind of fish is, you know, meat. You can do that. The thing is, you eat till you're not hungry. So I can eat a hamburger patty, and the ones that I get, especially at Carnivore, because they don't shrink to little nothings, like little cookies. They stay big. And I can eat one of those, and the first time we tried them, I ate 2 because they were so delicious. I mean, it was just like, oh, this meat is so good. So I ate 2, but I eat 1. So, you know, you may eat 1 breast of chicken a day. Well, that's a lean meat. You really probably should go with chicken wings, which you get the skin, if you eat the skin. The fattier meat with the chicken is better for you than the lean meat, even though I love chicken breasts. That's me. Smother it in butter. I mean, you're going to get the fat that way. You at least get the fat in your chicken because you need the fat. The fat is what helps you, and that fat is a good fat. And so, you know, you got to figure out what's best for you. Now, Charles Washington says that what you do in the mornings, you eat your meat before you drink coffee, because coffee is actually a appetite suppressant. So yeah, well, I can drink lots of coffee then. It won't make me hungry. Which I do that in the morning. First thing I do is have my coffee, and sometimes I put butter in my coffee, which helps it satiates your body. So if you're wanting not to eat first thing in the morning, say a lot of you go to work, I just do a slice of butter in my coffee. It's a fat, so it'll satiate your hunger pains, and it makes you feel full. So that's why I do it in coffee. Somebody says, ew, butter in coffee is nasty. No, I'm sorry, it isn't. And I use the Kerrygold butter. Some people just use Lands O'Lakes butter, but do butter, not margarine. Margarine is not healthy for us. It is bad. So that's why I'd like to tell you these little things that I come up with and I hear. I want to share it because there could be something on there that will help you. And I know I got a lot of friends right now. They got carpal tunnel disease. They're going to have surgery. And I just want to say, quit eating the stuff that's hurting you, causing the inflammation in your body. And maybe you won't have to go through the surgery. But I don't tell them that because they're my friends and sometimes they don't want to hear that kind of thing. So I'm just putting it out there now. So if they happen to hear my video, they may hear it. And I'm not saying it to be mean to them. But I just want you to be healthy and feel good because this one lady's 81 years old. I was reading her post. She eats nothing but milk, or not milk, meat and water. That's it. She is 81. She is not on any medicine. She has no aches and pains. She feels fantastic. You can do that. I can do that. But we have to get that mindset. That's our whole problem is our mind. We got to say, okay, I'm going to do this and do it. And don't let nobody sway you away from it if it's working for you. You know, yeah, they'll say your cholesterol's going to go up because of this or that. Your cholesterol goes up when you're eating the processed foods, when you're eating the plant foods. Your cholesterol's going to go up. And this one lady was saying her grandma and grandpa is in their 90s in Japan. Their cholesterol's 500. They're skinny. They feel great. They're doing everything that she could do. I mean, they just are healthy people. So don't let the doctors scare you to death unless you're eating wrong and not eating like you should about your cholesterol. Because if you're still putting that processed foods in your body, that's what's killing you. I hate to tell you that, but it is, and sugar. So, with me saying all this, I'm going to get off of here and go back to doing some things I need to do around this house. So I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. And if you're coming to tonight at First Baptist, we're having our last night with Robert Canoy. He's a speaker we've had this month, and he's done some really great speaking. And you might be interested in hearing him. So with that all said, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and God bless you. Bye-bye.